Shanti. So, welcome once again. And so, does anyone know what's the topic for today? What is it?
How to gain self-respect.
The art of gaining respect, right? So, what does respect mean? General.
Respect means giving love to that person too.
Giving love to the person, yes. What else?
Looking up to someone and trusting them.
Looking up to someone and trusting them, very good. Yes, having that quality of trust, very good. What else? And respect is valuing a person for who they are, the being for who they are, not seeing anything else. Now, in general terms, when we talk about respect, we say that in the world, that education brings respect, right? And we think that if someone's educated, or if we become educated, we can get respect. But have we seen in our lives people that are not educated and still have more respect than people who are educated, right? So it's not education, it's not a constant factor to bring respect. The other might be a position, right? Sometimes there is a higher position in society, a higher role for whatever it is. It might be in the government side, administration, at work, at home. There might be a role that is higher to someone else. Does that bring respect?
You're only respecting that position or that chair.
We are respecting the position. Yes, we are. But sometimes it's not a constant factor also. Sometimes people who do not have a position, and we may respect them more than somebody who does have that position or not, may or may not. So it's not dependent on that. And similarly, wealth, right? We all aim, wealth gives comfort. It does give comfort, but it does not bring respect with it. We are able to fulfill the desires of the family, maybe, but it does not bring respect from the family. May or may not. It's not dependent on that factor. Then, if we think about praise, if we get praise for whatever reason, is that respect? You know, our friends might praise us. If we do something good, we might get praise for anything, or we might impress somebody, we might get praise. Is praise equivalent to respect? Praise is also not equivalent to respect. So why is that? Why is praise not equivalent to respect?
It's just appreciation
Hmm?
momentarily.
Momentarily.
Yes, for some achievement somebody has
Hmm.
accomplished for
Hmm.
that moment, like won a prize or done something good.
Hmm.
So that
Praises.
will lead to a praise. Okay, you've done something good.
Praise
But
is
if you have a
momentary.
pattern of doing something good again and again, that will generate a kind of a perception or image about you in others' mind. That will basically incur respect.
Respect.
If you are doing it again and
Again and again. So if it's a consistent action, you're saying that praise is true. So you're right, and also it deals with the respect comes from within. It respect doesn't need words, even though words will follow, but respect is a very deeper feeling, and it comes from within, and also it is for the being that is there. It might, irrespective of the actions one is doing, irrespective of whatever roles they are playing, it's irrespective of that. It's a very respect is a very basic need of the soul if we look into it. Now, when I was younger, so I was brought up like all the kids. I was brought up in a way that there was no harsh language used when we were brought up. So what happened when I went to college? I heard different words that I had not heard at home. And what I would do, I would just label people that this is not the language we're supposed to use, so I would not talk to them. And then what happened, so I kind of, I would avoid or choose people I hang out with. Then I went to work, and at work, then again I met certain people, and but there I couldn't really avoid, because I had to be with them or I had to serve them or whichever way. So it used to bother me. So I used to feel that I don't use that language. Why am I listening to it? Why are people using that? And what happened is one day, so for a lot of time, it kept happening until one day, a wise man told me that it is not against you, it's just the way they talk. And when I realized it's just the way they talk, it became so much easier. It was kind of, I was able to deal, I was able to talk, I was able to have respect for those people. It doesn't matter. So then what was happening is, it was not that the I was not able, why I was not able to generate respect was because I had an arrogance, an attachment to this thing, this thought that I'm doing right. Right? So this is the right thing and this is the wrong thing. So anybody who's not doing this is wrong. Right? So attachment to a basic concept or an idea gave me that feeling to not respect others. Right? And so we see in the world why we disrespect people. First of all, how we gain respect is when we give respect. It's the basic, right? Basic law of spirituality. Anything we want to gain is we get from giving. And so how are we going to, why do we disrespect? First is, yes, maybe there are cultural differences. Cultural difference is a big thing. And I might think that this is how it's supposed to be. If we don't shake hands, it's disrespectful. But in certain cultures, it might be okay. So it might be a cultural thing, but nothing to do with respecting or not respecting. Then the other is habits, big one, right? If I am a person who likes everything clean and I get along, I am with somebody who's not so clean, then what would I feel about them? Right? I would constantly feel the way I am doing things is right and the way they need to correct themselves. So what will happen? Or for that matter, any other habit. I'm punctual, the other one is not punctual. I'm disciplined, the other one is not disciplined. I am, so in any which way, first of all, no one is perfect. But when we think that I am right in whatever I'm doing, I look down upon the other person, thinking that this is not right. In that sense, I lose the respect that I hold for that being. And there is there's a personality disorder, borderline personality disorder. And what happens in that personality disorder is someone has that personality and they think that everything is either black or white. So there is no shades of gray, meaning everything is either falls in this way, either person is very good or person is very bad. So what would be the result of such a thinking? Bad relationships, because the relationships, the basis of it is respect. So there are bad relationships and in that. So it's, it's not a personality. To a certain extent, we all carry that feeling that, okay, this is the right way to do things and I don't know how to get along when this happens. If person A loves to share, shares all the time, and person B does not share at all, right? Now, why person B doesn't share anything? Anything, maybe a pencil, maybe an eraser, maybe anything that they have. They don't like sharing. Why? Because in their past, when they shared something with somebody, what they experienced it, they were left out and the other person benefited and kind of went ahead more than them or progressed more than them, right? So that experience made them think that sharing is not a good idea. If I share, I lose. And that's why every time if they have to share, it might be a feeling of being threatened. But whereas person A, what person A had the experience, every time person A shared, person A became happier by sharing. So that feeling of being happy reinforced their behavior of doing it again and again. So now person A meets person B and asks for a very little small thing, that I need this. And person B, from the past experience, says sharing is bad for me and says no. What will person A think? Person A thinks, oh, such a small thing. We share so much, everything. I can share this in a minute. Every day I share, and the other person cannot even share this much. Whereas person B is coming from a totally different experience from life. So it's not that person B is wrong, but have a totally different experience. So what is needed then at that point? Just, lack of respect is just a lack of understanding, right? Not knowing. This is one time what happened. This was many years ago. A woman came up to me and she shared that, how she was having a hard time at work and she cannot work, and the boss was really giving a hard time, and she was going through something. So then, so I said, okay, I kind of whatever I could help her with, I did. Then what happened after a few days, a boss came, like a role of boss came, and she was also going through a very hard time in life, not at per se at work also, but in general, overall, she was going through a much worse phase in life than the previous girl. And then she was going through such a hard time that I really felt very, very compassionate for that person, that how is she managing everything. Then what happened, and then at that time I did not know they were two separate individuals. Then I found out the third time they happened to be together, and that was the boss and that was the employee. So neither they did not know, and I did not know that either, but then we found out. But I realized that both of them were right in what they were thinking, and the one that was kind of looking bad was actually going through a harder phase in life, was suffering much more than the one who were looking like the victim. And that's what happens, right? When we think someone is not behaving correctly with us, but someone's not behaving right, it's just they are going through their own thing. They are having their own personality traits. They are behaving in the best possible way they could in that situation. So might have nothing to do with us, but it's just so happens that we are on the way. There's a story one time. A sage or a saint, he was taking shower by the river, and then a family is passing by, and the family starts arguing amongst themselves. And when they start arguing, they start shouting and screaming. And when they do that, so the saint who was next to the river, he thinks that they are standing so close to each other that they could just, even whisper and listen to each other. But why they are screaming on top of their lungs? Why are they shouting? Why they can hear each other so well? But what is that? Why were they shouting? So when the hearts are further away, one has to speak very loudly so that you listen to me. But when the hearts are closer, meaning when we have love for each other, respect for each other, we don't even have to say a word. We can just look at each other and experience that respect, right? And so when often we see that people, or even we, are in a place where we need the feel to speak loudly, or just pause for a minute, pause for a moment and listen to the other person, because that's what is needed at that moment. Even if we are not listened at that time, but do what is needed. Maybe they need to be listened first. When there's a meeting or something, a group discussion at work. So what happens if what should be the role of somebody who is maybe at the senior position, right? It is to give respect to ones that are to listen, even if it is a wrong idea, or even if it is a totally different idea from ethics, to listen to what they have to say, to understand, to kind of acknowledge, and to even listen patiently. Just that much is enough. And then saying something with love or responding with love itself gives that power. That love and understanding gives that power to the other person to follow that, to, to, even if it is different, one is able to follow because it is given with love. So that is the case. And how else can we increase respect for others? How can we increase respect for others? One is, yes, we try to understand them. The other is appreciating them, looking at their qualities. If we go for a job interview, right, and how do we decide that we want to take upon a job or not? We see, okay, they have this benefit, I get, it's close to my home, this is there, timings are good, work from home, this is there, all the things are there. Maybe 2 vacation days are less. So 9 points are good, but 1 point is, okay, I could manage because everything else is good. So it becomes easier for me to work there because I feel it is for my benefit. Same thing with people. If I look at their qualities, I see, okay, this is also good. At least they do this, at least they do this, do this, do this. So even if one weak trait is there, it's okay, I can handle with that one. But if I only look at the negative traits, this is there, this is there, this is there, this is there, I want to quit that job. I don't want to be with that person, right? So, but if I don't have a choice, and plus it's not even about a choice. I want to have a peace of mind. I don't want to have any drama going inside my mind. So that is why always seeing the qualities in other people makes me understand them better. And then if I'm not saying that they might not have certain traits that might be a little bit uncomfortable for us. It might be, no one is perfect. Neither am I, nor is anyone else. No one is perfect here. So if there are certain traits that maybe I am not okay, I can try to adjust. I can try to be flexible by understanding that they are trying their best. As long as I learn how to be flexible, how to accommodate, that is a learning. Okay, if this is the case, if that person is like this, what can I do that turns out harmonious, that makes the situation good for me? What can I do? And if I learn, it might be an extra step for me. Okay, I can take that extra step, but eventually what will happen? I will learn how to be flexible. I will have peace of mind. And the most important thing, I will give the other person space to be who they want to be. When I don't want them, I am not constantly blaming them that you are doing this wrong, this is what needs to do, you have to, I'm not nagging. I'm giving that space to them that, okay, you can be whosoever you want to be. And by changing myself, I give them that power I give them that inspiration so they also can change, or at least they can try. It will be a little bit effort, but if I'm willing to do that, the more flexible I keep becoming, the more accommodating I am, the better for me. Better for me in the sense that from there also I will get cooperation. It will be easier to get cooperation, and then going along, the respect comes naturally. More often when we are sitting in a gathering or something like a group, if sometimes we feel offended because we are more concerned of what our image is. Whether same thing on social media, right? More concerned of what my image is. If I turn the focus entirely on giving respect, everything changes, because now I'm not in the taking mode. I go into the giving mode. And more so, the more I understand others, the more I'm able to understand things, and the more I'm able to be in synchrony with my own self. The more I do that. So this is another way. Then what can be other way of respecting or giving respect? What can be other ways? We have to be understanding, right? By understanding that people have different traits. There's another way where we create constant disrespect for people is gossip. And gossip is a very common thing, very common. And what happens, how many people we need for gossip? Actually, sometimes only us. We can gossip in our mind, right? But actually, it's two people you need, right? But when we gossip, what do we create? We create disrespect for the person that is not present there. So why we create disrespect? Because we talk about a weak trait about that person. And more, often we see that the gossip is about the same people, with the same people, about the same negative or negative weak trait. It'll be the same thing over and over again. And then at the end, we'll say that, oh, they're not going to change. So, not going to change, but still the conversation happens. Why? What do we get from gossip? What is there that we are getting from gossip that we do it again and again? There is a subtle superiority complex or ego that we get by gossiping. Why? When we talk about other people's weakness, we think, I am not like that. At least I don't do that. So, what does that give me? That superiority complex that I am better than that person. It's very deep. It might not be overtly there. I might not say, oh, I'm good, but it's inside of the feeling that, because that's the benefit we get, no, when we talk about others. So instead, when we focus on ourselves, when we focus on our good qualities, and we remain and we come into action with others with that, we see them also with such a respect. We see them, we understand them. Because when we focus on ourselves and certain days we don't behave okay, we are not in a right mood, we realize, oh, today I was not in a right mood. I did not behave properly. So I'm understanding of myself that I have this understanding, okay, tomorrow I will do better. In the same way, when others don't behave, I totally understand it because I feel I have been there. I understand how you feel. So because I know who I am, what my journey is, it becomes very easy to understand others. It's very easy to create that compassion for others. And that generates respect. Then appreciation for what others do. We so, even if we look at our body, we appreciate so much less. If one day, even one day, if we get ear pain, we feel like, oh, ear is hurting. The constantly mind will go, my ear is hurting. And then we wonder, oh, like I cannot hear from one ear. Then we realize, oh, at least I have ears, I'm able to hear properly. So we underappreciate so much from everything that we have. Our focus is always on what we don't have, what we don't have. And if we give away our desires to, how I am respected, desire to what I want, and put it out there for others, it actually creates a very good relationship between others and me, and a beautiful harmony that is created. And understanding, as understanding increases for others, that this is why they are behaving, because of their past experience, this is how they think. So it makes me easier to go along with them, right? It improves my relationship. So any questions?
Just thinking on the last point, people come from different backgrounds, different experiences, different sanskars.
For sure.
So we cannot just criticize based on their sanskars, but that is the human nature. We have a different upbringing, different sanskars. We would want everyone to be like somewhat in alignment with what our sanskars are.
Right.
And how to basically overcome that.
How to overcome that. So that is what, the question is that everyone comes from a different background, from a different experience with different personality traits. So the question is that how do we overcome that? If there is a difference in a personality trait, how do we overcome that? So the simple, and it's a very good question, the simple answer comes with some sort of accommodation, some sort of accommodation, that what change do I need to bring in myself to get along with this. Now, certain things might be unethical, or certain things might be that, okay, in that I listen and understand, and then maybe talk with love and go from there. But most of the times, what it is that I would have to do something, some change I would have to bring to once. So if there is a sanskar that's bothering me, for example, someone's not clean, now it's bothering me, I'm clean. So what would I have to do? I have to maybe clean certain area. Every day I would have to do extra cleaning. Every day I have to do extra cleaning. So it's an extra effort. But as long as if I do it with an understanding that the other person is not doing it intentionally, that's how they are, and I am also not doing it intentionally, that's just my habit. So I am not doing it for the other person, I'm doing it for my peace of mind. So it will not create a burden in my mind that I'm doing it for you. So cleaning a little bit extra, okay, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes it'll take, I can do that. Similarly, finding a way or a balance where I am able to do something with whatever that situation or that personality trait, the loss it's bringing to me, because I think of it as a loss. No, it is my loss now, it is an injury to me. What do I do? So in that case, finding a way how in that situation I can make the most benefit, what I can use, and that for every situation is different. We would have to look at it like that, that now this situation I want to make the most out of it. Which power can I increase? What can I do to change myself, and why am I not able to get along? And you will get in, you will see what you can do. It would be different for everybody, because it's very creative, there is no one answer. But when we are willing to do that, the scene or the what we need to do will come up. I don't know if that answered.
I think you have.
Yeah.
But again, my thought process is going, okay, based on your example, if I am doing extra cleaning just for my peace of mind,
Mm,
or the person who does the same routine again and creates a mess again
mm,
every single day,
mm,
after a few days, maybe my patients will talk to me, have a conversation,
Mhm.
try to
mm,
make him understand that I'm putting extra effort,
mm,
still nothing works,
mm.
then what?
Okay, so the question is that if the same example of cleaning, the brother asked that if I'm doing the cleaning for a few days, thinking that I'm doing it for my peace of mind, and after a few days the person doesn't change, what do I do in that case? So if it's for my peace of mind, it would not be for 5-10 days. If I have really accepted it, and if I think that this is for my peace of mind, it would be forever, because for my peace of mind is forever. So somewhere I might not have accepted, and there it is so totally fine, because I'm not going to jump from no acceptance to total acceptance in a day. I might go back and forth. Again, I remind myself, okay, I have to do this for myself, I am willing to do it. So the whole idea is to not create disrespect for that personality trait with that person. So when I do that, it creates that space, and I'm speaking from experience. It does create that space, whether they change or they don't change. Even if after many days, even if they change one day, you will feel so happy. That even if one day, because that change is not from nagging, that change is not by force, that change would come from within. So it would be sometimes by force we like to change people. They change 1 or 2 days and then they go back, and then they don't like it, they feel like they're being controlled. But when we do like this, we give them that space. Because by after few days, once I have forgotten, I'll keep doing it. I'm actually enjoying it because I feel it is my habit, so I will not even remember it. That's when the other person gets the inspiration.
The power of accommodation.
Accommodation. Yes, being flexible. Yes. Any other questions?
Om Shanti, sister.
Yes.
Sister, I have a question that, sometimes there, like in your life, you have very close relationship, and with them you have to live, you cannot avoid them that, okay, if you are getting negativity, you can just, sometimes you have a choice to move on or get away, but there are some relationships you have to stay with. So sometimes people, they are always dominating and disrespecting, taunting. So my question is that because we were discussing about today about the self-respect, so I have a problem that when those kind of people, they are continuously every second day, third day, they are dominating, and they, even if I progress in my life or I'm doing hard work, I'm doing anything, they are not valuing it. They are always showing me that I'm not worthy. Even from the family where I come from, my parents, like they show me that I'm not worthy. I'm from a low class family, or financially low family, all these things, all different things. So I today I'm very successful. Even then, I cannot, I don't feel confident about myself. I don't feel good about myself, and I feel like I'm not good enough. Whatever I do, I feel like I'm not good enough because I have those kind of personalities living with me who are continuously putting me down. So in this situation, how can I first of all gain self-respect, because I don't have any self-respect for myself? And second thing is, when I am in this kind of environment, how can I um, stay stable without shaking?
Yeah, I understand. But first of all, I would have to understand that any of those values that you picked, that we might think that is the basis of our respect, or that is the basis of our value, whether it might be, we talked about any sort of achievement, we talked about education, we talked about wealth. Any of those values is not the source of respect. It is not the source of respect. So if I would weigh myself based on that, I would never be stable with respect. So respect is a genuine, it's a genuine feeling which is closer to my truth. No acknowledgement, no approval is needed from anyone for that respect, because that is my true self. And for increasing, or like you're saying, if the environment is such, then to isolate yourself from the environment, and not isolating physically, but creating a space within a time or a silent time frame for myself, and having positive self affirmations, having the self belief, and realizing that this respect is not going to come on the basis of any no person can create respect within me. No person is responsible for what respect I hold. My respect is that is my true self, right? That's my own respect. It's not that I have to create something that is already there, but I have to accept it. I have to realize it. I have to be with it. And spending that, having those self affirmations, self talk, silent time, seeing one's qualities would help, rather than depending on outside factors to, like, just like praise is not respect, right? In the same way, defamation is not disrespect. If somebody's saying something wrong, it's not disrespect in the similar manner. Those are just words. Respect comes from a very deep love that comes, right? Have you ever been in front of someone where you felt really respected? Really respected? At that time, even if they spoke harsh words, even if they said, it did not matter, because the respect or that deep love was felt, right? So it is, if that I create that love within, because I am that being of love, and then I give it to others. I understand if one is not able to give respect, it's because they are going through their own trauma in life, they are going through their own situation. It's not, if only I have so much wealth can I distribute it. No, if I don't have wealth, how will I give it? So I do not depend, I create that for myself. And meditation helps, when we do, I'm not sure if you do Raj Yoga meditation, we're going to try that. It helps us create that respect for ourselves because we focus on
So
who we are.
when I do meditation, sister, these past experiences and the present, what happens, and I'm also worried that this gonna repeat. These things, even when I'm meditating, they disturb me a lot. So how can I overcome? This is my last question. Thank you.
Okay. So I think it comes with time, where I'll take this question at the end again. We'll try to do, because time is running out, we'll try to do some meditation, and then I'll take this question, if it's okay.
Sure. Thank you so much,
Thank
sister.
you. Om Shanti. Let's sit back and relax. For the next few minutes, let's forget our roles, responsibilities, and to-do list. And focus and bring our attention to the center of the forehead. I, the being of light, the being of love, love is my true nature. This love allows me to take care of myself, to know myself, and to understand my own feelings. I am kind to myself. I, the being of love, radiate love to each and every being around me. I understand that others have their own habits or traits which are truly independent of my interaction with them. Their behavior is their own story, their own perspective, and their own experience from life. This understanding allows me to accept them as they are. I, the being of love, I understand that others might not be harming me, but behaving in their best possible way. So it brings compassion within me for those souls. I create this genuine understanding for others and their parts in my life. They have come to teach me something. So that I could change and be a better version of myself. Where I become free from their approval, need of their praise. I become free from the need of respect. I, the being of love, an eternal being of love, only knows how to create love and respect for others. Only when I know who I am can it become easier to spread that love to others. I, the being of love, I bestow love upon everyone. Love, respect, care is my truth, my true self. I visualize my workplace or home, and I am in my state of being of love. I see everyone with love there. I see that everyone is behaving in their best way, in a loving way. All the tasks are getting done with love. This workplace or home feels like heaven. And with this thought, I come back to this room and back to my awareness. Om Shanti. Sister, so your question was that how to create respect for them, right? Because the moment you create respect for yourself, the past experience come. Is that right?
Yes, sister.
I think she's not here. But I would again think of the past experience in the similar manner as that behavior is their story.
Question was if somebody is dominating
Uh,
nature and disrespectful all the time, how you can basically have a self-respect and
if someone is
feel
dominating,
feel
yeah,
that.
yeah. So dominating nature is also one has to see where one has to stand up for themselves in that sense. And it might be creating a boundary for the self in that way. Because if someone is dominating or controlling in the sense, then creating some space might not be a bad idea for yourself. And then come into interaction. Om Shanti.
Thank you.